Time teaches that not every conflict deserves a response, nor does every provocation demand a reaction. But how many times have you found yourself drawn into empty arguments, only to realize that in the end, nothing has changed? At 60, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Your wisdom lies in calm, in the silence that speaks louder than 1,000 words. Imagine yourself in the middle of a heated argument, where the other person just wants to impose their point of view. Is it worth wasting your energy trying to change an opinion that has already been decided? Sometimes silence is the most powerful gesture. When you choose not to react, you allow the truth to reveal itself. It's not a question of omitting yourself, but of preserving your inner peace and dignity. After all, what's the point of winning an argument if you lose your peace of mind? True strength lies not in speaking up, but in knowing when silence is enough. And what about unfair criticism? That moment when someone tries to diminish your achievements or question your choices. Do you feel the need to justify yourself? Remember, the opinion of others doesn't define who you are. Your career speaks for itself. If you respond to every insult, you're just wasting time you could be investing in something really valuable, your peace. Silence is a powerful response because it leaves the other person without fuel, without ammunition. It's a way of showing that you're not in the game of provocation, that your energy is too precious to be wasted on what doesn't add up. So, are you ready to choose peace over chaos? To understand that silence is an ally, not a weakness? Because life, my friend, is too short to be wasted on what isn't worth it. Before we get to the point, can you imagine having access to transformative content that could change the way you see the world? If you want more valuable insights like this, subscribe to the channel now. Activate the bell so you don't miss anything new and be part of our community that seeks to evolve every day. Let's go on this journey together. Have you ever felt pressured to respond to a provocation? That moment when the other person seems determined to drag you into a pointless verbal clash? No matter how rational your argument, certain discussions simply have no winners. The truth is that reacting to a provocation can be exactly what the other person wants. To see you get off track, lose your peace, and, in the end, feed a destructive cycle. So what's the best response? Silence? A smile? Or simply leaving the scene? The wisdom lies in recognizing that you don't have to justify yourself to someone who isn't willing to listen. Often, provocation arises from the other person's desire to feel superior, to test their limits, or to project their own frustrations. When you respond, you feed this negative energy. However, by choosing not to hit back, you take control of the situation away from the other person. Those who control their emotions have real power. So why hand over that power to someone who doesn't deserve it? Reflecting before reacting is one of the greatest signs of maturity. Think about it. How many times has a heated argument resulted in something really productive? Almost never. What do you get out of insults and words spoken in the heat of the moment? Nothing but regret and emotional exhaustion. So when you realize that you're about to be pulled into an unnecessary conflict, take a deep breath and ask yourself, does it really matter? Will it change my life in any way? If the answer is no, then you already know what the best choice is. Silence is a powerful tool, but knowing how to use it requires confidence and self-control. This doesn't mean omitting yourself, but prioritizing your peace over empty conflicts. There are times when ignoring is the best way to win. There are arguments that die the moment they don't resonate. Why wear yourself out trying to prove a point to someone who is already determined not to understand? If you're looking for personal growth and a lighter life, learn to choose your battles. Not every provocation deserves a response, and not every provocateur deserves your attention. How about experiencing the sensation of maintaining control and watching the other person lose themselves in their own game? Because in the end, the real winner is not the one who speaks up, but the one who chooses peace over chaos. Who hasn't received an unfair criticism? That snide remark that comes out of nowhere, often without foundation, just to destabilize you? The truth is that words have power, but their impact depends solely on how you choose to react. Do you feel obliged to hit back at every criticism, or do you have the confidence to go on your way unflustered? The way you face these situations defines not only your inner peace, but also your ability to grow and evolve. Unfounded criticism says more about the person making it than the person receiving it. People who spread destructive opinions are often projecting their own frustrations and insecurities. So why give them the power to upset your equilibrium? If you know who you are and are aware of your value, unfounded criticism is just distant noise. Would you let a passing storm define the course of your journey? Or would you choose to move forward, firmly on your path, undeterred by the noise? The big question is, why do you need the approval of those who don't contribute to your growth? How many times have you found yourself trying to justify yourself to people who aren't even open to dialogue? Instead of wasting your energy trying to prove something, how about directing it towards those who really care about you? People who make unfounded criticisms aren't looking for understanding, they're looking for control, and you don't have to play that game. The most powerful way to respond to unfair criticism is with results. Let your achievements speak for you. Silence and resilience are effective weapons against empty opinions. If you stay true to yourself, time will be your greatest ally. Unfounded criticism dissolves as the days go by, while your authenticity and determination continue to build a solid history. Those who really matter in your life will recognize your value without the need for justification. So the next time an unfounded criticism comes your way, ask yourself, does this opinion really deserve my attention? If the answer is no, then you already know which way to go. Focus on what is essential, on what makes sense to you. Your energy is too precious to be wasted on what doesn't add up. After all, you came here to grow, not to be a prisoner of other people's words. Have you ever come across someone who seems to have an uncontrollable need to show off? Whether at work, at social events, or even among friends, there's always that person who makes a point of showing off their achievements, their possessions, or their supposed accomplishments. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really behind this behavior? What is the real intention of those who incessantly seek the approval and admiration of others? What looks like security can actually be a major sign of fragility. Often, the need to show off arises from a deep need. Those who make a point of being the center of attention, highlighting their qualities or demonstrating power, may actually be trying to compensate for something they feel is lacking. If you've noticed this pattern in someone close to you, it's worth asking yourself, does this person really want to share something positive, or is they just looking for external validation? Authentic brilliance doesn't need a spotlight. It's present without the need for excess. When you encounter this kind of behavior, the best course of action is not to play the game of competition or empty admiration. After all, what's the point of wearing yourself out trying to prove your worth to someone who is obsessed with self-affirmation? When you're aware of who you are and what you've achieved, you don't need to show off to anyone. True recognition comes from the positive impact you generate around you, not from the need to be noticed at any cost. The smartest way to deal with people who want to show off is to keep your cool. Don't let the impulse to compare yourself or feel inferior get the better of you. Everyone has their own journey, and those who worry too much about showing off are often more insecure than we realize. Instead of judging or criticizing, try to see beyond the superficial. What does this person really need? Perhaps just sincere recognition and a little compassion. In the end, what really matters is your inner peace and authenticity. If you know who you are, if you're satisfied with your journey, you don't need the approval of others. So the next time someone tries to show off around you, ask yourself, does this change anything in my life? If the answer is no, just smile, move on, and continue being the best version of yourself. How many times have you found yourself in the middle of a problem that wasn't yours? Arguments between work colleagues, family intrigues, or even fights between friends. And suddenly there you are, involved in something that shouldn't be part of your energy. But have you ever wondered why you feel the need to take sides? Does this interference really help? Or does it just add more weight to your own journey? When we let ourselves be carried away by other people's conflicts, we run the risk of absorbing emotions that don't belong to us. The emotional strain can be profound, and often the one you're trying to appease ends up becoming the new target. What do you get out of getting involved in something that doesn't even directly affect your life? Reflecting on this, we realize that true emotional intelligence lies in recognizing that not every burden needs to be carried by us. Human beings have a natural tendency to want to fix everything around them. But what if, instead of trying to solve other people's problems, you directed that energy towards yourself? Imagine how much your life could improve if you focused on your growth, your dreams, and your peace of mind. In the end, is it worth compromising your peace of mind for issues that will often be forgotten with time? True strength lies in knowing when to act and when to walk away. You don't have to be the mediator in every battle or carry the weight of the world on your back. Setting healthy boundaries is essential to maintain your sanity and preserve your energy for what really matters. Those who respect you will understand your decision not to get involved in unnecessary messes. So the next time they try to pull you into a conflict that isn't yours, ask yourself, does this really deserve my attention? If the answer is no, choose serenity. Focus on what is within your control and let others resolve their own battles. After all, the peace you protect today will be the foundation of your happiness tomorrow. Have you ever felt that some people only approach you when they need something? Whether it's a favor, advice, or even emotional support, it seems that your presence is only valued when it's convenient for others. But why does this happen? What makes some people feel they can exploit your kindness without offering anything in return? This is a crucial question that needs to be asked before your energy is drained by one-sided relationships. The first step is to recognize the signs. When you are always available, but realize that you rarely find reciprocity, it's time to reflect. How many times have you helped someone, and the moment you needed it, they simply disappeared? This doesn't mean that we should expect something in return for every gesture of kindness, but there is a difference between generosity and exploitation. What do you get out of being surrounded by people who just take, without ever contributing to your well-being? The truth is that your energy is valuable, and you must decide where to apply it. It's not about becoming a cold or selfish person, but about setting limits. Have you ever wondered how many opportunities you've missed because you were too busy solving other people's problems? You have to find a balance between helping and protecting yourself, ensuring that your kindness is not seen as weakness. Learning to say no is one of the greatest acts of self-love you can perform. Those who really value you will understand and respect your limits. If you feel guilty about refusing constant requests, remember that you also have your own demands and responsibilities. Your time and energy should be invested in healthy relationships, where there is genuine exchange and mutual respect. So when you notice that someone is trying to take advantage of you, stop and think, has this person added something to your life or just taken it away? If the answer is no, perhaps it's time to reevaluate the space they occupy. Choose to surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, and not just for what you can offer. After all, your generosity is a treasure and shouldn't be wasted on those who don't know how to appreciate it. After reflecting on the importance of recognizing when people are trying to take advantage of you, the inevitable question arises: what are you going to do with this knowledge? Knowing how to identify one-sided relationships is a crucial step, but the real transformation happens when you decide to act. Will you continue to give away your energy to those who just take without giving back? Or will you start to value yourself, imposing healthy limits? The answer lies within you. It's not enough to understand the problem. It's essential to take concrete steps to change your reality. Creating psychological and emotional barriers doesn't mean being cold or indifferent, but rather respecting your own dignity. Have you ever stopped to think how different your life could be if you invested your energy in people who really valued your presence? Every choice you make shapes the future you want to build. Self-validation is one of the fundamental pillars for preventing other people from abusing your generosity. When you become aware of your own value, you feel less need to seek external approval. Do you need acceptance from people who don't recognize your value? Or is it smarter to direct your attention to those who really care? Don't let your kindness be seen as weakness. Your generous heart is a virtue, not a burden. Taking control of your own life involves saying no without guilt, understanding that you are not responsible for everyone's problems, and recognizing that some relationships simply aren't worth the wear and tear. If you feel uncomfortable in a situation, why continue with it? Respecting your limits is an act of self-love that reverberates in all areas of your life. Your time is precious. Spend it wisely. Change starts now. Evaluate your relationships, reflect on your priorities, and don't be afraid to adjust your course. Your emotional well-being depends on the choices you make every day. Are you ready to put this into practice? If not now, then when? The time to act is today, because every day that you allow others to define your worth is a day that you lose control over your own happiness. Therefore, I invite you to make a decision. Continue accepting less than you deserve, or start building self-respecting and balanced relationships. Your journey is unique, and only you can choose how you want to live it. Don't wait another day to put yourself first. Choose yourself, value yourself, and move forward with confidence. The power to change is, and always has been, in your hands. If this content made sense to you, imagine how much you can learn by following our upcoming videos. Subscribe now, activate the bell, and leave your like so that we can continue to bring you valuable reflections and insights. Your support is essential for this message to reach more people. See you in the next video.